August 19th, 2025, 7:30 a.m. The EDA is now in session. Call to order. Approval of agenda. Do we have a motion for approval of agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Either that one, Hayden?
Yep. What are you going
Okay.
to do? Dave.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda passes unanimously. Consent agenda for today. Anybody got any questions on that part, A through E?
No?
Approval of the consent agenda? Oh, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The consent agenda passes unanimously. Open forum. Hayden, tell me there's just somebody watching online or something.
There is nobody online other than the gentleman who's going to be giving the presentation later.
Excellent. Oh, look at that. That looks like this chair. And we'll move on from open forum. Old business. Now I do have something to say here about number 5. We have a meeting with Semstone on the railroad spur, and it's coming up at the end of the week. I will be in that meeting. If anybody would like to assist and join, please feel free to let Jan know that this is who you want to go with. We're going to talk just some basic stuff at the Dayton plant. If anybody wants to join in, jump in, by all means.
Will there be a representative from the BNSF at there?
I don't believe it is. I think it's just concept, high level. Do you want to have one here? Do you not? If that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and then if they've got any idea of a potential timeline, they'd be able to share that with the city. So I think it's more of just a fact-finding thing about their interest and what level of interest that is.
Well, I think it's kind of a blow up the skirt phase to get everything kind of rolling, isn't it?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. We've been waiting for this in a long time.
And we know that the railroad would just love to put a spur in for them.
Yeah, we just got to see who's writing checks. I think we'll have to take it out of Zach's personal fund.
Sounds good.
To sell that big shiny pickup, get a different one.
IOU works great.
You can buy our little Datsun and drive around. Okay, does anybody else want to talk about this here on, besides the railroad spur on D?
One item I do want to bring up to the EDA chair and members of the EDA is the EDA budget for 2026. I know there was a request for $100,000, I believe, made by the EDA back in June with budget cuts and things that are going on just in overall with the levy. It is proposed to have a $25,000 levy next year just to cover operating expenses for the EDA, since the EDA is operating and doing things now, and it's important that we make sure we're not taking out of reserves to operate the EDA overall. So that has been the request in front of council. There'll be further discussion, obviously, with council level, but I just want to make sure that the EDA is aware that there's a $25,000 request for tax levy for next year for your budget. So that's where we're at right now. Stay for any questions if you have any.
When does that get approved?
Yeah, so the high-level preliminary levy set in September, the final levy set in December. Basically, we can't go up from there. We can rearrange the furniture, essentially, so we can take money out of one fund and put it to the other fund, but we can't raise the overall levy above X number once we set it in September. So,
Ask for 100, got 25. Is that clear? Or
that's what
ask for 100, maybe get 25.
That's where we're at right now.
Okay.
Yes.
We all understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Anything else on old business? Jump into new business. Okay. New business it is. Demonstration, Placer.AI software. Has anybody had a chance to dig into that? Because I looked a little bit, but I didn't have no access. Yeah. Hayden, what is the main function of this Placer software so that guys know?
Well, let me see here if I can pull up. John had scheduled this together here, and Adam from Placer.AI is going to give kind of an overview of a presentation on what the potential capabilities are and how some place like the EDA or even just the city of Dayton in general can utilize Placer to benefit economic development circumstances within the city. A lot of it is data-driven travel statistics about where people are going, where they're coming from, and understanding really, to me, one of the benefits or one of the good things that Placer is able to do is track where residents are traveling to go shopping, where are they going in Maple Grove, where are they going in Champlin, to try and understand what are those things that could potentially be closer in the city of Dayton to have residents shop here rather than travel to other cities. So that's kind of just a really high level, and obviously Adam's going to give a better better thing here over this. So
Is he on with us? Adam, are you
he
there?
is on, yes. Let me turn on the volume here, and he will take it away.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, how's it going?
We are doing quite well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you all for letting me crash the meeting this morning. I have had a couple conversations with John, but again, my name is Adam. I'm an account executive over this region. I'm super excited to show you guys the Placer platform today. Just a quick question before we jump in. Is anyone familiar with Placer.AI at all?
I am.
No.
Okay, amazing. I'm thinking for an agenda for today, what I'll do is I'll start off by giving some high-level background on Placer, who we are, what we do, how we do it, and then we can jump in the platform and I'll share how our current Civic customers utilize the platform, as well as show you some of the data we can provide for any specific property or location, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
Perfect, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen real quick while I give us some background on Placer. Promise I will not PowerPoint you guys to death. Just want to have a little visual up in the background here. Can you guys see my screen all right?
Just fine.
Yes. I'm going to try to make it bigger, Adam. Give me 1 second here. See if I can
Okay.
make
Let's get a little more decibels, too.
I can
You want to turn it down or up? Up?
A little more decibels.
Okay.
Really?
There you go. Give me 1 second. I don't know how to make
Yeah,
this
no worries.
screen. Let's see how I might not be able to.
Let's see.
Way at the bottom.
Adam, I see about a half hour on
There
this
we go.
presentation. You might have to put it to the woods because we got a lot of stuff to cover after you. Could you make that
Yeah,
happen?
I can be super quick.
You're good, Adam. Thank you very much.
Yeah, perfect. I won't take up the whole 30 minutes, I promise. I'll be quick here. But Placer.AI, we're a location analytics company. So what we're doing is utilizing mobile location data in order to provide market intelligence for any physical location in the U.S. We do that by harnessing data from millions of mobile devices. We then aggregate the data, extrapolate it out, which allows us to learn about any place, whether that's a retailer, a shopping center, a neighborhood. It could even be a road, street, or highway. Not only do we tell you how many visits these locations receive, we also can tell you where the visitors come from, where else they work, where they like to go. To simplify it down, we're partnering with mobile apps. So think of a weather app or even a sports betting app as an example. Once those location services are enabled, we're then able to anonymously analyze these devices in the background 24/7. We're not collecting any personable information. We don't know whose phone it is. We're just studying the latitude and longitude of these devices once they opt into our panel. And through our app partnerships, we've built our own panel of about 30 million mobile devices. And we are now the leading data provider for over 4,500 customers. About 1,700 fall into what we call our civic space. Loads of customers across Minnesota, such as the city of Ware-to-Lee, Bloomington, Adena, St. Francis, West St. Paul. A bunch of EDOs, quite a few chambers and DMOs as well in the area. I know I just threw a lot at you guys. Any questions on Placer and how we get our data?
Negative.
No.
Well, I have one question. How does why would a person download the app and opt in?
Yeah, so for example, when you have like a weather app on your phone and you just have to have those location services on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we do, before we started selling commercially, we spent 7 years building our panel and as well as our algorithm. But again, we're not collecting any personal information. We can't tell whose phone it is at all. What we've actually done is we have exclusive one-to-one partnerships with these apps. They only partner with us, we only partner with them. And what we did is we embedded a piece of code within the app that allows us to just ping the latitude and longitude of that device. 24/7. But again, no privacy or no personal information collected. We're in full compliance with all the privacy regulations. It actually keeps us future-proof as well.
Okay, so it's not your app. You're basically coattailing on all these other.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes, we have these partnerships with multiple mobile apps. It's not our own app.
Makes sense. Okay.
So when you click the okie dokie, let's say you're on the Corona app, and they say, we will share with third-party vendors, you're a third-party vendor.
Essentially, yes. Essentially.
Well, then
That's the correct idea of exactly what we're doing there.
you're not asking, you're just joining.
So you
Yes.
gotta turn
Well,
on.
no, the app, yes, the app asks,
I want Corona to work,
and
I
it's
have
a
to.
double for
That's
opt-in.
taken.
So once they opt in, and we just happen to be a partner with that app, we're then able to analyze that device.
Understood.
Cool.
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
Nope.
Awesome. Let's jump into the platform. So what we're taking a look at right now is Placer's homepage. I like to compare it to Google Maps. We can take a look at any address or property in the search bar, and what will populate is data for that specific location, right? It could be a park, an event center, the downtown district, even a whole city or county as a whole. Anywhere you regularly want to see data on, it would all appear within this area of the platform. And then I just want to zoom in really quickly, or we can go to Dayton, for example.
Let's zoom in on Dayton, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that really quick. And
I
I do have
don't-
a property loaded up. Me and John were discussing a potential development site that I can share.
I don't really care about South Dakota.
Oh, is that? You guys are.
No activity.
Got it. Okay, so for example, when I zoom in here, I just want to show you how easy it is to create like a geofence. So as I hover over, for example, this bar and grill, this blue little box represents what we call a geofence. We can go in and create a fence around any specific property, and we're actually able to count foot traffic and visitation once a mobile device crosses over this fence. For example, if you want to data on the fly for any specific location, you can actually just come in here and create these polygons, these geofences, and capture data on any specific location on the fly, just like that. And then when I pop open a property report, for example, we're going to use the location John and I discussed, that development site over on Dayton Parkway and County Road. What you're going to see here when this loads up is data from the last 12 months in terms of visitation. However, we have historic data, so we can actually take a look at data all the way back to January of 2018, and it's near real time, so we only have a 3 to 4 day lag period as well. A bunch of different filters we can take a look at. We can take a look at employees, residents in the area going to the property, a specific day of the week, specific hours, how long they were there. If you want to hone in on the tourists, we can also do that by filtering the home or work distance. Coming down to impressions, this is going to show us that we're seeing 1 million visitors, resulting in 6.4 million visits to this specific location, which is showing us that people are coming quite often, more than once, about 6 times. And it looks like it's up over a year, 3, year 2, and the past year as well. Coming down to this trend chart right here, this is going to show us all of that on a daily, a weekly, or a monthly frequency. In practice, our current customers use this feature for even estimating tax revenue. And then for economic development, it's a great way to benchmark any property's growth, the traffic there, the success against any competing locations as well. You can even highlight the potential or the benefits of a site or properties in your city by showing solid visitation on a trend line as well. As we click into one of these spikes, it's actually going to show us what was going on that day as well. So we can see what visitation looks like. If there was an event nearby as well, it would populate here. But just great to understand was, there's some sort of outdoor event that a new retailer will open up nearby that caused an increase in traffic. Also, in terms of grants, one of our customers was actually able to take this types of data. They showed the amount of people that were coming from over 90 miles away and correlate the sales tax revenue that was generated from these people coming over 90 miles away, showing an economic impact of about $52 million for the region. They were able to secure a grant from the state of Arizona for about $200,000 to continue funding events they were holding at this location as well. Let's jump over to trade area. So now we can start to understand how many visits a location receives. What this heat map is showing us is down to the census block level of where people are coming from. So the red's indicating the top 20%, blue's the bottom 20%, but as I zoom out here, it's going to help us understand, the true market landscape, where you guys are drawing from, all the way down in Chicago, North Dakota. But just great to understand what that looks like. We can even filter it by minimum amount of visits if you want to take a look at the regulars coming to this specific location. And then for economic development, it's also great to just show a specific site, show the true expanse of the trade area. How far people are willing to come to visit this location. Coming to visitors by origin, we break it all down by zip codes. So what we're doing here is we're showing how many visits are coming from each specific zip code. We can take a look at this on a year-over-year change as well to see where visitation may be increasing or decreasing in a specific zip code. We can also compare this with two or more retail locations. For example, if you guys were looking to recruit a retailer in, and highlight any leakage or even cannibalization in the area where residents may be leaving to another city to go to a specific retailer. Great for marketing as well. Marketing teams love this section to essentially understand visit behavior and trends, as well as measuring the impact of any initiatives you do. And then coverage by distance is going to show us how far people are willing to travel to get to a location. So for example, we can see majority, 36% are coming from 10 to 30 miles away here. I know I'm kind of flying through this, guys. Any questions at the moment? I know I'm throwing a lot at you.
Who has access to this if we were to purchase it?
Yeah, so everyone for the whole department would actually gain access to the platform. You guys would have unlimited logins.
Define that.
Yeah, so for example, is this for are you in terms of like the economic development department?
We have 7 in front of you right now. Can all 7 of us access this?
So each of you would have your own login. You have your own personal email login as well as password to the platform, and you'd be able to run as many reports as you'd like. With this, you will be able to run your reports, but I will say you get a dedicated customer success manager as well as myself in the region. So we're able to build out analyses for you, run reports for you if you don't have the time. But again, you can come in here and pull as many of these as you'd like.
Next question.
Yeah.
Will police and fire have access to this?
No, so that is the one thing. Police and fire, we can't give them logins, but you're able to, of course, share reports with them. For example, we just have strict guidelines in place where we can give them their own personal logins.
I'd be worried that this would become weaponized, and if somebody wanted to hold an event in town.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm not laughing, dude. That's pretty real stuff. So
Yeah,
if someone wanted to hold an event in town, they had 199 people there, and all of a sudden we got data that says different. That would become weaponizing it.
Oh, I hear you. I misheard that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So exactly, yeah. So you can share, reports. It's great for events, right? If you run events, we have cities utilizing this data to plan for an event. How many police officers or security guards should they hire for a specific event? So we have cities and teams doing that on a regular basis, but we can't give police or fire their own logins.
Are cities using it for analysis of traffic and, in terms of, like, I'm thinking infrastructure for roads and different things like that? I mean, is it, how, as an example, versus putting the rope across the road or whatever and counting how many cars go up and down Dayton River Road or whatever, would this be an alternate and maybe more accurate? And you can look at history, and there just seems like, I don't know if it's that accurate, but there could be a lot more data than throwing a rubber cord across the road and counting traffic like we do.
Yeah,
that's
so
the
think
current
about,
method, right?
For example, we don't always know how many people are in that car, and then The cool thing about us is we can tell the whole story, right? So we can tell where they're coming from, where else they've been throughout that day or that year. For example, what I was going to show you guys next is visitor journey. So it's actually going to break down where people were directly before and directly after they visit a location. So again, like in addition to a traffic counter, we can paint a bigger picture.
So there's got to be some margin, because not everybody has this. So there's got to be some algorithm in the background that says, and that must change over time. So how do you get any type of accuracy if you only have a % of the population?
That's a great question. So that was going to lead me to my next point. So before we work with all the big retailers, sports venues like Best Buy, Target. Before they come on board, they really put us through the ringer on accuracy. They know exactly how many people are going into their stores. They use door counters. For example, before we brought Best Buy on, they sent us 30 different locations, back tested our traffic data with theirs. We came back between 97 and 98% accurate. And again, since we built our algorithm 7 years before selling commercially, we're able to extrapolate the data out and account for the entire U.S. population, even though our panel size is only 30 million. But we do really hone ourselves on that accuracy portion of it, coming in between 97 and 98% accurate. Any other questions at the moment?
Nothing, go ahead, we got to keep moving.
Perfect. Yeah, I know we are coming on time, so real quick, I just want to share. We do have demographic data. So again, since we're able to monitor these devices 24/7, 365, we actually know, hey, where do these people live that are visiting? Since we can study those patterns. We have a ton of third-party data sets we can layer on our own demographic data. For example, we have census. But what I wanted to show today was market outlook. Me and John talked a little bit about this one as well. It's a third-party data set that we layer on top of our foot traffic data. What this is showing us is what total demand and total supply looks like in the area. So for example, we can click on gas stations. This is going to show us what that unmet demand looks like and what that supply currently looks like as well. We can see there's a ton of unmet demand in the area for gas stations. We can even take a look at restaurants, do the same thing. Great to understand for economic development teams as well. Like if you were looking to develop a site, our demographics helps them highlight the true potential and match of actual demographics to a specific retailer. For example, if you knew what retailer you'd like to place in that site, you can essentially match up the demographics and see if they align and will be a good fit with that site. Real quick, jumping over to visitor journey, we show exactly where people were before and after they went to that specific location. We can see 5% were at Quick Trip, another 7% were at Quick Trip right after they hit the location. Again, we don't just give you the top 5. We actually break this down in 74 different pages. So we can get really granular. We can filter it by categories. And then coming down to favorite places, what this is showing us is where people also spent time that year. So in addition to where they were before and after, we can show you where else they spent time that year. We can filter this by any specific category. For example, dining. We can see Raising Cane's is a huge hit, 2.5 miles away over in Maple Grove. Cool story here. We were working with a city that was looking to attract a McDonald's. They thought it was the best fit amongst their residents. Through our favorite places, we actually helped them see that Chick-fil-A was a bigger hit. People were willing to drive over 15 miles to get to Chick-fil-A in a nearby city. It helped this team go and recruit a Chick-fil-A as well as fill that vacancy, and it's now one of the top performing locations in the region. And then last thing I wanted to share with you guys is our void analysis feature. So before we started breaking out into other industries, we really started out in the commercial real estate space for the first 4 years. What this tool was built for was actually for identifying ideal tenants to a specific location. So this is essentially a tool that has over 1,700 chains available. It's continuing to expand over time. But for example, what this is showing us for this specific site is it looks like a hotel would be a great fit here. Based on the drive time, nearest location, cannibalization, For example, we can click into this Hyatt, come down to the match analysis, and it's going to tell us exactly why this Hyatt is a great fit for this site based on who's going there. We can see the demographics align almost perfectly at 94%. Little to none cannibalization. The nearest Hyatt's over 25 miles away. We can even customize the square foot size, which I didn't do because I don't know the exact square foot for the site. But for example, we can put an exact square foot size and it will tell us what we should put there based on that. And then again, just breaking all of the demographics down here.
Okay.
But I know we are short on time, guys. That is the quick, high-level version of Placer. There's a lot more we can do, a lot more granular we can get. Happy to run more analysis for you guys, but would love to just hear your feedback, any thoughts you guys have, any overlaying questions at the moment. I really appreciate you letting me come on here.
What's this cost?
Yeah, so in terms of cost, John and I did discuss, let me see if I didn't bring a proposal, but let me see if I can pull it up real quick. We base on population. So for an economic development organization, we'd essentially base the cost on the population you guys are serving.
In the city, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let's give them a number.
So what do we got,
If you guys
7,000?
have a number, I can try to pull it up really quick.
9,000?
10 and a half.
11?
Annually.
Huh?
Annually.
Let's go with 11, Adam.
11,000?
Between 10 and 11.
Okay, so 11,000. So yeah, it would be around 15 annually. But again, like you guys get myself and a customer support manager or customer success manager that's essentially serving as your advisor. They're helping you get ROI out of the data. They're able to meet with you weekly, bi-weekly, really whenever you need any analysis or report or any questions. You're not just calling an 800 number, they're a named individual in the region, so they're there to make sure the business succeeds as well as provide support throughout the process. And again, yeah, it is a 1-year annual subscription, but if we want to talk like 2 to 3 year agreements, there's ways we can discuss potential discounts. I'm also happy to get creative, prove out the value here, and if that number, we can always discuss more in depth with pricing as well.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. It looks like an excellent tool. However, I'm of the feeling that it could be absolutely powerfully and absolutely abused. So for that reason, I don't know if I would ever support this.
Okay.
And again, as an EDA, I think it's an excellent tool, but you can't control this genie in this bottle. And if this starts getting out where people start using this in different fashions, which would be pretty easy, and where it tells where people live, it's a pretty Big Brother deal for me. And I don't even care about the Big Brother thing, but this one's really.
Yeah. So again, in terms of for people where they live, we don't know their actual address. We can't identify any mobile device. Again, we're just showing like the general latitude and longitudes up down to the block level, right, of where these devices. We're studying patterns essentially, so we can't actually identify the individual. We don't want to do that either. We don't collect any personal information. We really own ourselves.
I get that, and I heard you loud and clear. But I also heard you said when you said we can tell you where these people live by a BCID in their phone.
So essentially down to like the block level is what I was meaning. Since we can study those patterns, it allows us to lay the data accurately on like the census block level to make sure we're not capturing any false data there.
Well, that's my opinion. You had asked. Anybody else?
I think we should just talk about it, but yeah, thanks for the presentation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting.
Okay.
Dave.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
So,
I mean, I do agree with you, it's Big Brother, but I mean, everything that's happening out there is Big Brother, so it's just whether we want to use this tool to our
Would we
benefit.
want the city in a position where we could see anything everywhere every time? And from the looks of our council over there, it kind of look on her face was like kind of scary.
So
You turn it on.
I'm not sure where this software came from, but the litigation risks, the data because keep in mind, government data is thought of differently than private data. You all are able to access something that's considered government data, even if it's created by a third party. I don't even know where to go with all of the risks to the city to do something like this. They're impossible to count, the ways that we would be wrapped into costly things, whether that's a data request or litigation, never mind a data breach. We're obligated to notify everybody of a data breach. I'm sort of at a loss for what to say because it's just absolutely not an appropriate tool for government. Full stop.
Okay.
But it is used. We saw this a couple of years ago. MnDOT came to one of the council meetings and presented on the improvements they were going to make on Highway 10 and the study they'd done. And they had data just like this. They were telling us how many people were on 101, going north on a Friday afternoon, how many of them were going to Home Depot, how many of them were going to Cross Lake, and all of that. So that's been out there for years.
I can see it.
I understand the concern. It's kind of weird, creepy stuff to me.
My concern is the liability to the EDA and then therefore the city based on the program he talked about. If MnDOT had them build some sort of smaller scale thing that simply counts vehicles, obviously that's already been done, with the counting strips, and if this is an easier or more efficient way to do that, I'm sure there's a way to ratchet it down and get just much smaller chunks of data, but that's not what he was talking about. And so from what he presented, this presentation, that particular product is absolutely not appropriate for government. It's just not. I mean, there's certainly potentially some sort of other governmental entity that could make an argument, but from what we're talking about, not appropriate.
Although an excellent tool.
Sure.
Yeah.
For the private
at what
market,
cost?
That's a great tool for the private market to do their research to figure out where they should put their store.
Yeah. Whether you want a Chick-fil-A or a McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We build both of them.
And I'm certainly not promoting this, but he did mention EDA, so you can tell he's not from here, but that they were one of their customers, and I just wonder if it's worth finding out how they're using it or how they're addressing some of these kind of concerns.
Could it be ratcheted down to a tool that would be acceptable? I don't know. I get your point.
I set the stage. Who has access? We all have access to it, which it's the only way I would do it. We all have passwords. Well, what's to say someone don't want to come in and, hey, I want to know how many people were at this thing. Not just car show. I just use that as an eye roller for you. Okay?
Wasn't just me.
And that's the point. Okay, how many were there? Well, you're out of compliance, or you're out of this. And if it turns weaponized, which is a flick of a finger for somebody, we're responsible for that as a group. Are we not?
Well, yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be a situation where I would say that you all would be able to have passwords and access. It would need to be run through city staff. That's a whole nother component that does not work for how this body is set up, because not any single one of you has the authority to go in there and do that, right? Collectively as a group, you can have that authority, but not individually. I'm sort of at a loss for words for how to react to this, because it is so unbelievably inappropriate for the EDA and this body. I don't know where this idea came from, and I'm really sorry if it was one of you and I'm raining on your parade. I apologize for that. But the legal implications of this cannot be over-exaggerated.
Well, it looks like they've been very successful in moving forward with their platform. I mean, is the city of Dayton interested in this, or is it only been presented to the EDA?
Yes, member Anderson, it was presented to us about a year and a half ago or so as a staff level of, hey, this is something that came out. Is this something that'd be interesting to you? At the time, we had budget constraints. There was no way we were going to be able to do it last year. And we said, okay, maybe we could essentially punt it a year and see what it looks like and see what that kind of system is, more or less. We thought it was a good tool for us to try to attract different businesses. That's where it was looked at. It wasn't looked at to weaponize people or to try to figure out, what can we jam in this spot. It was more like, hey, we have interest in this location. We have a landowner that's looking to, move on, and they're looked to us to help them. Essentially, what they look to us to do is, what do you want here? What do you have here? So that would be an idea from city staff level of what can we put there. I'll use the example of the Stensley property down off of 81. They've asked us to help them. What do you want here? It's a mixed-use land use, so it could pretty be much anything. And we said, we don't know. Whatever you guys want to put there is what we'll adjust. And we've talked about townhomes, we've talked about apartment buildings, we've talked about industrial buildings there, all of which are applicable in different means. But they look to us to help them, and we can't help them any more than they can because we don't know any more information than their realtor does. So this is a tool that we thought about that came about, again, about that same time that could help us help them move forward with whatever they're looking for. For example, he used the Hyatt as an example. This is a good spot for the Hyatt. I never would have thought to put a Hyatt there ever because it doesn't sound like a good spot to me, or it looked like a good spot, but what do I know? I'm just a city admin. So
Well, there's no doubt this is an excellent tool.
yeah, correct. So that's where it was brought up at the city level,
Let me
but
ask
there
you,
was just no way to do
Would
it.
it be
So.
appropriate for, say, like our land broker, I can't remember the
Yeah.
MCI.
So you're talking
for
about
us to suggest that they
IAG.
acquire it and use it to help us place things.
Yep, that's exactly what we would do. Is if that was the case, we've had a conversation with IAG about this overall, and they said that they would be willing to do that for us if they have that software. I'm assuming they already do.
They do.
But I don't know that for a fact, and we can have them run whatever. I think that would curb some of the comments that Amanda has and concerns about the public data thing, because if we're requesting the data, then anybody can request it. So if we get one thing about what's the best spot for here and they give us a report, that's all public data. So if somebody else wants to have that, which we're happy to give out, it at least limits that area, because if everyone's running a different report and then all of a sudden now we have 6 different reports or 12 different reports or whatever of what can be best in that location or what's needed there, now we have 6 or 7 different public data requests. We have to save that data for I don't even know how long. Depends on what the record retention schedule is. So if we have somebody else do it, to your point, Member Burnens, is that would be appropriate for us to say that. So.
I mean, that seems like it could make sense.
That was kind of our fallback.
Level of anonymity too, if IGA runs it and we're not in that position.
Correct. And we could say what's best for this location, have them run the data, give us a report back, happy to hand it off to the EDA. Here you go. Here's the information. Yeah. And then, help us facilitate something so that way you guys are going out in the community and able to.
And they may use someone different than this Placer.AI.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't
this
really
one is
matter.
by far the most popular, from my understanding.
And it's not like I'm against this. I'm certainly not against it. I am pro this all the way. What I'm against is the fact that if anybody can get it, it can be used in nefarious ways. And we shouldn't put ourselves in that position as a city, because there's always just somebody who's going to call us after hours and say, hey, run this, I want to see what goes here, and then you got access to it, and all of a sudden you're at data all over the city. Mm-hmm. So I like the idea.
It exists no matter what. Whether you like it or not, it exists.
Right, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's hidden. It's there, and it's crazy to me. But yeah, like I said, I think that would be the best option if we had to at this moment. I think it'd be best for us to run it through IAG at this moment.
Do we need a motion on this or anything?
No.
Okay, let's move on. Everybody else done on this?
Yep.
Okay, we've got, as per closed session, 805, which we're a little pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D05, subsection 3C, or 3C3, closed session will be conducted to develop, consider offers, and counteroffers to purchase of real estate or real estate property located at 15520 Lawndale Lane North, Dayton, Minnesota, PID 05120 2222 0003. We are in closed session.
Motion in a second.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
One
carries.
minute to close out and come back in.
I think we go to the table on this, guys.
Amanda, you said September 15th for the.
All right, we're back in open session.
EDA is back in session.
Yeah.
Okay, as pursuant to the purchase of PID 0512022220003, we need a motion to purchase.
I'll make a motion to purchase.
We have a motion from Scott, and
I'll
we have a second from Sean. All in favor of purchasing this?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we're going to go back into a closed session here. Do we need a motion for a closed session? We need a closed session for the second part of this equation.
I'll
Do
make
I
a
have
motion to go into closed session.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are back in closed session. We are back in session. We exit the closed session, and we are now talking about a solution for staff to move forward with the purchase agreement, right? And get this on the
And schedule a public hearing.
next schedule, and also have the meeting, the
Public meeting.
public notice.
Sean's going to make.
Public
the
notice.
motion, I think.
Yeah,
And that's a motion, I believe?
Sean's going to make the motion.
yeah. So yeah, I'll make a motion that we authorize staff to move forward with the purchase agreement on the property, and then we can direct staff to proceed with any necessary public hearings that we need to have.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next item? Staff and boards update. Who's doing the staff updates? Hayden?
Yeah, EDA chair and members of the EDA. So we got some good updates for you this week. So we did have a signed lease for the other 500,000 square feet of the Cubes building by a company called Dayton. They are a cooling system for data centers specific, and they will be doing a lot of assembling in this facility. There'll be some manufacturing, but most of it will be assembly from their plant in Maple Grove. They are asking, we'd like to have a tour of their current facility. It is planned at 9 o'clock this Friday, or take it back, 9:30 this Friday. If you have interest in that, let me know now, or if by email, does not matter. We should have time to let them know how many people are going to plan on being there so we can post for public meetings just to make sure that we know. We don't know how many jobs are yet, but...
Send an email. I want to RSVP that.
Okay. I will send out a invite to everybody on the EDA. Again, I think it's very important to know that now this building is finally 100% filled. This is going to be a great spot. We have no distribution as well, which is surprising, but because that building was designed for distribution, but we do not have any distribution, which is a fantastic information based on engineering because of the number of vehicles that are going to go in and out of this facility. So congratulations to Dadex, and the company, parent company is MAS HVAC is the company, the main parent company.
MAF?
MAS. So MAS HVAC. And again, they do cooling systems for data centers. There was a Business Journal article, if you look it up, there is a Business Journal article in the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal. The other item that, I don't know if it's...
better than a warehouse.
Yep, fantastic.
Great.
I can give one more, I guess a couple more updates. LC Stevens Park, there's been a couple of master plans that were given to the Parks Commission overall. There's been some draft concepts laid out here. Not much more necessarily for the EDA, but there's been a couple of times when we've had MSA out to doing just surveys of the public to see what they like to see. We'll have a concept review back here in September. That's the plan for our commission, so we can have a master plan update for LC Stevens Park. Adopt a park. I think these were mentioned, I don't know, by John in the past about just different parks that could be adopted. We have a few of them already chosen. If somebody else would have any interest in them, from either somebody listening here or anybody in the EDA that knows anyone wants to adopt a park, you most certainly can. There are quite a few still available.
It's a sign thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
so you get a
mark me
sign.
for one.
Okay. Pick which one you'd like and share, and we can.
Talk to Rox and get over a check or whatever we need. Don't we owe you for a
No, not me.
flower pot?
Sure.
Do we owe you for a flower pot?
Hayden can.
I'm
check.
not sure. I'll have to check with John.
Yeah. So let us know which one you want, and we'll get you signed up. Get your sign on there.
So what's the sign is just adopt a park?
Yep. Just say that you put your name on your park or whatever. It's just more advertising for you, and you could say advertising, and then you go out there and pick up the park, once a month or something. Just go pick up litter for a year. Essentially, we don't have typically too much litter, and our public works crew does a pretty good job. But again, just going there and kind of adopting a park has been.
How come the
I want to see you picking up paper.
where's the where we hold the car show at? What's that one?
LC Stevens.
Is it on there?
That one's been chosen already.
Oh.
That's the number one park. Everyone chooses that one. It's great, but if you know anybody else in the business world or whatever wants to adopt a park, we're trying to keep parks clean and good to go. Cards, cribbage, and coffee. I don't know a lot about this one, but our event specialist, Elizabeth, has been doing a fantastic job of different programs to have. So if you have an interest in cards, cribbage, and coffee, looks like it's going to be Thursdays from 9 to 11. And then the Giving Garden out front, that has been a huge hit. Very slow to start, but people have been dropping off stuff left and right up there. So there's plants and cucumbers and zucchinis and all kinds of stuff. We've obviously been advertising to make sure that people know what's going on and look to see what the future will bring with that one. Car show. This will be this Friday again, and then I believe it's
Having a band
this Friday. It'll be.
Had a band last Friday, or last show.
Yeah, what band was going to be this week?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot. It's a band. So
Is this at Stevens?
this is at LC Stevens Park. It's been a great success so far. We've really seen a lot of people come out and do things, and 199 people show up every time. So
The last show was quite incredible.
yeah, it was
Give
pretty
or
good.
take 3%.
Give or take 198. Dayton Heritage Day is September 20th this year. We finally got a confirmation that is going to happen. That is the same day as Operation Zero at Magnus Veterans Foundation, so I think there's going to be some coordination between Dayton Heritage Day and Magnus Veterans Foundation. And next EDA meeting September 16th, and I think that's it. I got one more update that's not on here. That's a pretty big thing for the EDA. That's a pretty big one. So Graco World Headquarters will be located in Dayton, Minnesota, starting in 2027.
Is that in that building that they're in?
So they are building a new building, roughly 100,000 square feet, one level. Plan is roughly 3 levels currently. 152 jobs starting off, estimated to be 300 jobs by the end of their time that they're here. Obviously, anticipated they're here for a long, long time. World headquarters of Graco coming to Dayton in 2027.
That's kind of a big win.
That is a huge win for us as the city of Dayton. It will be located between their 2 buildings, so if you go by their facility, it'll be located between their 2 buildings along French Lake, so essentially overlooking French Lake. So if you have any questions, let me know. But that was
Where'd they come from?
Minneapolis. So they are closing the Northeast Minneapolis site. They are redeveloping that site.
How about
I think they're
Hairball?
looking to do something, I'm not sure, but they are moving that whole entire world headquarters to Dayton, Minnesota. So
Yeah, that's
congratulations.
A big deal.
Congratulations to Dayton.
And they'll have all their manufacturing consolidated.
Or whoever.
Because isn't there 2 buildings in Dayton already that Graco
So
has?
there is one manufacturing facility, one distribution facility. It is planned that they're going to build another facility. Not sure what that will be, but there will be another one behind their world headquarters eventually on the other parcel that they do own. Obviously, they have a location in Rogers as well. That's I think that's a manufacturing facility there, and they also have one in Anoka as well. So.
How was their intake? Were they welcomed to their city with open arms?
Yep, yeah. We had a conversation. It was between Rogers and Dayton overall, and we had kind of a, what do you say, give us your number that you're able to make it help us work here, and we gave us the number that we were able to work with what the council had given me, and we made it work. So fee forgiveness.
So. Kind of economic development perspective, should we, as a city, make a big deal about this? In terms of, would that attract other companies if we made more, bigger announcements to say, hey, Graco's
welcome to the
locating
city
the world
thing.
headquarters in Dayton, Minnesota? Does that get others to think about
Start
that kind of stuff?
Possibly. We are working with Graco, whatever they need to kind of help them, with their process with recruiting and
I'm just thinking,
and
if they're
retention of people and
okay
stuff, but-
with it, I'd shout it from the top of the mountain from a city perspective to get.
This is brand new, so they just released this list to their employees, let them all their employees know
I'm not
last
saying you have
week.
to do it
So this is
tomorrow
very
or
fresh.
Maybe they need a spur.
Sure. They'd love to have a Spur, I'm sure, Chair.
Imagine
For
that
bringing
kind
in
of product
people
coming
for
in
their
and out.
headquarters.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to need it for their headquarters, but they may need it for their long-term manufacturing. I don't know. But again, I think it's something we can most certainly work on and try to.
It doesn't have to be done
Agreed.
anytime right away, but I think if you work with them to think about how could you promote that to not only the citizens of Dayton, but Maple Grove, like the bigger communities to try to attract,
Yep.
Others.
And who knows, but, they can still use the Minneapolis address, right?
No, they're going to move everything to Dayton.
Right, but I mean for, Graco Corporation, Minneapolis 55327.
Sure.
Oh, no, they wouldn't use Minneapolis. They'll use Dayton.
They used it, put
Yeah, they'll use
Dayton in.
Dayton. Yep.
Well, that alone puts us on the map.
Yeah, that, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, they'll use Dayton, Minnesota. So that's what I mentioned to them as well. So we want to make
Staff
sure
should
we.
get creative about how you can
Yeah, once we hear from
Think about that.
official, because obviously there was official posting last time when Graco said they're moving and they said Rogers or Dayton, big Minneapolis, St. Paul business journal aspect, and they didn't know it, who they were going to move to. I'm going to guess that there'll be another big article that comes out, and we can obviously put something together to coordinate
When
with
the
that.
building is
So-
done, I think we should do a big city event, ribbon cutting, something cool.
Car show band, armadillos. Drive
So the
your-
city
drive your
promised a
ugly
bridge.
tractor over there.
We did not.
What's that? Drive your ugly tractor over there. They've got one on their
It's
wall
coming,
in the lobby.
Across
Who does? Yeah, from a parade.
Do you have any other updates, Hayden?
State's gonna put it. Did we already have a walkthrough on this place?
After I'm dead.
Well, how come I wasn't invited?
We have not had a walkthrough of the distribution facility yet.
Oh.
That is
Well,
not,
then
that is not
let's drive the
happening.
tractor over there. No, it was yeah.
The manufacturing
first
facility.
building.
Yeah, the manufacturing facility has been a
Pictures on the
walkthrough.
wall.
They were one of
That
our
was
largest customers.
3 years ago, 3.5 years ago.
That's no excuse.
No, I'm not saying it is an excuse. I'm just saying that's what it was. It was like 3.5
No
years.
kidding, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Been there a long time now.
Well, I think along the same line, I don't know what about sooner, but certainly when they do their groundbreaking, I mean,
Yep.
I assume they'll invite us and we ought to make a big deal out of that.
And everyone was invited to that one when we did the groundbreaking at the first site. Everyone was invited to that one, and I think a few EDA members went to that.
I don't think EDA had any position in that, did they? That
Nope, that was an
It
entire
was a little
council thing. but-
pre-EDA. The first one, well, Quick Trip we did, I remember that.
Yeah, Quick Trip, there'll be another ribbon cutting there. I just want to make sure everyone's aware. I will send this out as well. That one's October 8th. Yep, October 8th is a ribbon cutting at the Quick Trip down on Maple Court. I will send that out to
Stand
everyone.
in for me, I'll be in,
I got you.
It shows symmetry that all the gang gets together and supports them when they come in. All the, so
I will send that out as well. So the ribbon cutting, and then I'll let you know about the tour for MAS HVAC or DATAX this Friday.
All right, so that covers our staff updates.
Oh, last one I had. Lucero has asked if you'd like to have a tour of the townhomes as well that he did based on the EDA's approval of the agreement. If you'd like to have a tour of that, let me know, and we can try to schedule something this week or early next week.
Dave and I already went through them.
So, great. Okay, that's totally fine.
EDA
Do you want any-
member,
That's
you
it?
done?
Yep, now you're good to go. Thank you very much.
EDA member updates. What do we want to do there? Anybody?
You got them all.
Did we get them all?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we had staff updates, now we have EDA updates. Pull the pin. All in favor? Motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.